When it comes to Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door, I'm something of a combat specialist. I spend a lot of time tackling difficult challenges and testing my super guarding skills and strategic thinking, trying to optimize battles. This means that a normal playthrough with no restrictions is, well, super easy. So I decided to crank up the difficulty with a challenge for TTYD I'd been seeing around the internet: Insane Mode. Insane Mode doubles enemy HP, doubles enemy attack, and gives every enemy 2 extra defense. As an added restriction, I must start every fight fully healed, and I'll be trying to not use any life shrooms or boost sheets. Now, I'm gonna be real with y'all, I wanted to make this a big, fully edited video talking about each chapter, the prep, all of that. But the remake is literally around the corner, and my time to work on this has been cut extremely short. So I'm just going to show the boss battles and talk about the strategies I used for them. I went in really trying to destroy every single boss, even with these inflated stats, and there's a lot of cool stuff I used that you probably never see in a purely vanilla playthrough of mine because of it. So I hope you all enjoy it. With that said, let's get to it. We're starting off with Blooper. Even with these stat upgrades, Blooper still isn't too threatening. 24 HP, 2 attack, and 2 defense. And the tentacles have 6 HP, 2 attack, and 2 defense. The defense means this would be an insanely long fight with just power jump, because Goombella deals no damage right now. Luckily, the shop in Central Rogueport sells Fire Flowers, which deal 3 damage to all enemies. I used 2 Fire Flowers to get rid of the tentacles and bring Blooper down, then used power jump until Blooper went back to the ceiling. After a few loops of this, Blooper goes down. Hooktail is closer to a Chapter 7 boss than a Chapter 1 boss with these stats. 40 HP, 10 attack Stomp, 8 attack Fire Breath, and 3 defense? Absolutely nutty. You'd think this would make her very difficult, especially since I'm not using attack effects R. But this damage boost actually helps me do something I've always wanted to do: get Goombella into peril at super rank. Let's break it down. Turn 1, I use 2 Fire Flowers. The 3 defense is a big damage decrease, so I need to supplement Multibonk's damage, and the damage piercing of Fire Flowers is perfect for it. Hooktail always uses her Fire Breath turn 1, so we guard it for 7 damage to Mario and Goombella. Turn 2, 2 more Fire Flowers. Hooktail always uses Stomp turn 2, so Goombella is in front to take the damage. We guard it for 9, leaving Goombella at 4 HP. Turn 3 is where we set up Peril. I defend with Goombella and use Sweet Treat with Mario to get Goombella to exactly 9 HP and make sure Mario can survive an unguarded Flame Breath. The defend makes sure Goombella gets into peril no matter which move Hooktail uses, because Flame Breath pierces defense. Turn 4, we unleash the unholy might that is Peril Goombella. We need at least 7 bonks here to make sure we have enough damage to end Phase 1 next turn. We then power jump with Mario and super guard whatever Hooktail throws out. Turn 5, Hooktail should have 10 or less HP. We head bonk for 5 plus 5 damage and end Phase 1. After declining all of Hooktail's tantalizing offers, she heals 10 HP. The inflated stats don't affect her healing here, so another head bonk finishes her off. The Shadow Sirens are no joke here, with a combined total 62 HP between the 3 of them. But what if I told you that they go down in 2 turns? Don't believe me? Check this out. Turn 1, we Earth Tremor and use a shooting star that we bought from Charlieton. This puts Beldum, who has 20 HP max, under half HP, which triggers her to make all of the Sirens use their special moves. These moves are unguardable, except for Beldum's. Guarding Beldum's Blizzard gives us a 2-4-3 damage spread, just enough to get Mario into peril. We then Quake Hammer and use a Thunderbolt to finish the fight in 2 turns. Magnus Von Grapple got a big upgrade: 60 HP, 4 attack, and 3 defense. This strategy needed a little luck to be fast. You probably noticed, but I have Double Ping equipped. That means Magnus now deals 8 unguarded and 6 guarded with damage dodge equipped. I attack Magnus until he hits Mario twice, guarding one of the attacks. I then use a Power Punch and Power Bounce Magnus for massive damage. This puts him under the HP threshold to trigger him to summon the X-Fists, meaning he doesn't attack, and I KO him next turn with a jump. Before we get to all the boss fights, I wanted to just talk about Yoshi really quick so you know why I named him Livewire. I like to name my Yoshi after soda flavors. I decided to go with Livewire since he's an orange Yoshi, and I loved Mountain Dew Livewire as a kid. Now, let's go destroy these bosses. Bowser features the first appearance of an item you'll be seeing a lot in this challenge, Mr. Softener. This normally useless item reduces all enemy defense by 3, which is amazing for this run where every enemy has defense. Bowser has 60 HP, 6 attack, and 3 defense. Perfect for Mr. Softener. Turn 1, we lower Bowser's defense with Mr. Softener and use Gold, putting us at 1 FP. We have Livewire use an item that you'll also be seeing a lot of in this challenge, Point Swap. Point Swap swaps your current HP and FP, which is incredibly versatile. Livewire point swaps Mario to put him into peril, and with 1 Power Bounce, Bowser's down. Rockhawk's definitely been hitting the gym. 80 HP, 8 attack, and 2 defense. He's got a ton of different moves. A sliding kick, some crazy acrobatics move, an aerial tackle with base 12 attack, and more. He's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve. Unfortunately for him, his 8 attack moves allow us to abuse Double Pain once again. Turn 1, we charge with Mario and use a Mr. Softener. At this point, Rockhawk can only use attacks that deal 8 damage, so we're guaranteed to get into peril with Double Pain equipped and a guard. Turn 2, Livewire uses a Power Punch on Mario, and I Power Bounce for an easy KO. Now we move on to the fight that probably has the most RNG in the entire run, Macho Grubba. So far, you've seen me plan out almost every boss meticulously. You can't really do that here with Macho Grubba, and he's got a massive 120 HP. I decided to utilize a common strategy found in pre-Hooktail pit runs, Quick Swapping. Quick Swapping involves using Quick Change to preserve a partner that's in peril, along with any attack boosting statuses they might have. See, when you have a status, it ticks down at the end of the turn. However, if a partner is swapped out, the status never ticks down for that partner. This means we can indefinitely keep buffs like Power Punch and Power Lift active. So, we attack with a boosted Peril partner, swap them out to another to soak up damage and to preserve the Peril partner's status, and rinse and repeat. We'll use this with Livewire to deal massive damage without needing too much FP, and keep Mario alive with healing and Super Guarding. The setup is only 2 turns. First, we Power Punch Livewire and use Gold. Macho Grubba always gives himself the fast status when he doesn't have it, so this is basically a free turn for us. Turn 2, we use Point Swap on Livewire. Now, we just loop attacking with Livewire, swapping him out, and using Piercing Blow, Sweet Treat, or a Super Shroom based on Mario's current HP. After a few turns of this, Macho Grubba goes down. Atomic Boo has essentially the same stats as Rockhawk, but the randomness makes it much harder. I had to play it by ear for this boss, but it still went relatively well. Turn 1, I used Point Swap on Goombella to put her at 10 HP. This was to position myself for a peril setup that didn't end up happening. Atomic Boo uses its most dangerous move. This move can inflict Stop, which is basically an immediate loss. Luckily, I super guarded it. Next turn, I use another move you'll be seeing a lot, Soft Stomp. Like Mr. Softener, Soft Stomp gets a lot of value in this challenge since every enemy has defense. Atomic Boo hides its face. I Power Lift in anticipation for one of the moves Atomic Boo can use and get +3 attack, then multi-bonk with Goombella to deal some decent damage. Unfortunately, Atomic Boo doesn't use the move I wanted and I don't guard, causing Goombella to become confused. Luckily, she's able to act, and with a Power Bounce plus Head Bonk, Atomic Boo goes down. Dupless is still a joke. I point swapped Mario and Livewire and used Last Stand and Last Stand P so that whoever Dupless attacked turn 1 was put into peril. After that, I used whoever got into peril to destroy him. Fighting Dupless and partners was honestly really fun because all of the partners' HP and attack got doubled, meaning we get to fight souped up versions of them. I decided that I couldn't finish off Dupless until I knocked out all of the other partners, just to make things a little more challenging. Turn 1, I use a mini Mr. Mini to try and mitigate Dupless's and Goombella's attack. I wanted to save my power lift for when Vivian arrives. Once Vivian arrives, I use Clock Out because Fog's on the field and get both of them. This lets me KO Goombella without much trouble. Koops comes in and deals 3 damage to Mario. I have Last Stand and Defend Plus on it, so I figured now is a good time to power lift and get +2 attack and +3 defense. Koops deals 1 damage, putting Mario into peril. I obliterate Koops, Flurry, and Livewire, then deal massive damage to Dupless, who keeps attacking Vivian in the front. After another jump, it's all over for Dupless. I've been using a lot of Goombella and Livewire, so I decided to utilize 2 other partners for Cortez, Flurry and Vivian. Cortez has 40 HP, 8 attack, and 3 defense, and he's got 3 phases for a combined 120 HP. How am I going to get through using Flurry and Vivian? Let's dive in. Turn 1, I point swap Flurry and use a gradual syrup to keep my FP topped off. Cortez always attacks the front turn 1, so Flurry takes 4 damage thanks to Last Stand P. Turn 2, we hammer with Mario and lip lock with Peril Flurry. My badge setup is tailored to heal 8 HP in Peril. How much damage does Cortez deal again? Let's find out since Cortez always attacks the back turn 2. Turn 3, we defend with Mario and lip lock. This turn, Cortez attacks a random spot for 4 damage 4 times. Depending on who's attacked, I have a guard route to get into Peril. For Mario, it was guard once, then don't guard 3 times. We then hammer and lip lock twice, keeping Flurry in the spot that's being attacked, and Cortez's first phase is finished. Phase 2, we'll be using Vivian to do a very cool loop. First, we hammer and swap to Vivian. When Cortez isn't at max height in this phase, he charges. We then hammer again and use one of the worst moves in the game, Veil. Veil skips a Mario and Vivian turn when used, so if Mario goes before Vivian, then the enemy gets to attack twice, but Cortez charges on that second turn, so we can loop Hammer and Veil indefinitely against Cortez in Phase 2. Once Cortez is low enough, we use Power Lift for at least +3 attack and finish off Phase 2 with Shade Fist. Then, Phase 3, we Power Bounce and Shade Fist to obliterate Cortez. Compared to Cortez, this Crump fight is blazingly fast, but maybe that's because Crump is so weak at this point. 60 HP, 6 attack, 2 defense. This fight is only 3 turns compared to the 2 loops we used in the previous fight. Let's break it down. Turn 1, we point swap Goombella and charge with Mario. The X-Knot Pyramid does 10 damage, so we guard it with Goombella for 9 to get into peril. Crump could KO Goombella here, but his super guard is very easy. Turn 2, put Mario in front, charge again, and multi-bog Crump for a ton of damage. We guard the X-Knot Pyramid and super guard Crump. Turn 3 is where it all comes together. We multi-bog Crump, dealing just enough damage to knock him into Phase 2. Despite it showing only 30 HP worth of healing, he heals back to 60. Then, with our charged Mario, we deal exactly 60 damage and destroy Crump before he ever gets to attack in Phase 2.
Sirens are blaring, the doors are closing. This is the last call. Hop on, let's go.
Smorg's got one of my favorite strategies of this run. It's no pushover, 100 HP, 10 attack, and 2 defense. Those miasmas would absolutely destroy me, so let's skip them entirely. Turn 1, we double dip 2 Thunder Rages to get rid of the miasmas, then point swap Goombella to put her into peril. Smorg takes 2 turns to regenerate, so it does nothing. Turn 2, we multi-bog. Use Quick Change to swap Goombella out for Bobbery, then Thunderbolt Smorg to put it at 50 HP. Once Smorg's at half or less of its max HP, it starts using the Claw form. In this form, it has 20 attack and 3 defense. We guard the Claw, taking a massive 19 damage. and conveniently putting Mario into peril. Turn 3, we spin jump with Mario to put Smorg at 39 HP and recover 1 FP with FP Drain to give us exactly enough FP to multi-bonk with Goombella for exactly 39 damage, finishing Smorg off. Continuing the 3-turn trend is Magnus von Grapple 2.0, 140 HP, 12 attack, 4 defense. How am I supposed to beat this in 3 turns? Well, you probably already know the answer by now, but let's see how it's done. Turn 1, we point swap Goombella and Powerlift for at least +3 attack and +2 defense. We then guard, and with the +2 defense from Powerlift, Magnus's drill attack deals exactly 9 damage, putting both Mario and Goombella into peril. We power bounce and multi-bonk turn 2 for an insane amount of damage, putting Magnus under the HP trigger to summon the X punches, meaning he deals no damage this turn. Turn 3, we power bounce first to grab enough FP from FP Drain to allow Goombella to multi-bonk one last time, finishing off Magnus von Grapple 2.0. We are starting off the boss gauntlet that is Chapter 8 with Gloomtail. 160 HP, 16 attack, and 4 defense. These stats are downright monstrous, but I have yet to unleash Goombella's true power. Turn 1, we double dip with Goombella and use Power Punch and Point Swap on Mario. This leaves him at 16 HP. Then, we soft stomp Gloomtail to reduce his defense to 1 and deal 10 damage. Gloomtail always uses Poison Breath turn 1, so we guard, taking 15 damage, exactly enough to get into peril with Mario. Turn 2, we Power Bounce for 75 damage, then Rally Wink to give Mario another turn, and Power Bounce again for another 75 damage to KO Gloomtail. Down in 2 turns. Up next is Shadow Sirens plus Dupless. These 3 have a total 220 HP combined. Good lord. Luckily, I have a secret weapon, Livewire. Turn 1, we Powerlift for at least +3 attack and charge with Livewire. All we have to do this turn is survive, which is generally doable as long as you can Super Guard Dupless. Turn 2, we double dip with Mario and use Power Punch and Point Swap on Livewire, who unleashes a demonic stampede on his foes, grinding the Shadow Sirens and Dupless into dust. The Grotus and Bowser Kappy fights happen one after another, which is absolutely brutal for this challenge. I had to prep for both fights, so my badges and items reflect that. Let's dive into Grotus first. 100 HP, 14 attack, 3 defense. Despite these stats, I was able to create a consistent 2-turn strategy, so I didn't have to worry about him in case I got bad Kappy RNG and had to reset. Let's break it down. Turn 1, I double dip with both Mario and Goombella, one using Shooting Star and Mr. Softener to take out the Grotus X's and decrease Grotus's defense, and the other using Power Punch and Hot Sauce on Mario. Grotus always uses Lightning turn 1, so we guard since we have P up D down equipped for 14 damage, putting Mario into peril. Turn 2, we Rally Wink, then Supernova to take care of the newly spawned Grotus X's while dealing 15 damage to Grotus. We then Power Bounce with our souped up Mario and destroy the rest of Grotus's HP. I made sure I had enough star points to level up, so we'll always go into Bowser and Kappy fully healed. On to Bowser and Kappy. This fight is kinda ridiculous. Bowser has 140 HP, 14 attack, and 4 defense, while Kappy has 100 HP, 10 attack, and 2 defense. Jesus. Despite these crazy stats, there's a cool trick we can abuse to make this fight much, much easier. and it involves Bobbery. First, we need to get rid of Kappy, who can wreak havoc on any strategy by healing or making either of them invisible. We Rally Wink with Goombella turn 1 and double art attack, focusing down Kappy. Bowser always uses Flame Breath turn 1, so we guard that to get Mario into peril. If Kappy attacks Mario, we need to super guard it. Turn 2, we swap to Bobbery, double dip a Spite Pouch onto Bobbery and a Zest Dynamite to deal a little damage, then Power Bounce Kappy with Mario to KO her. Bowser always uses Bite turn 2, which attacks Bobbery and inflicts recoil damage thanks to Spite Pouch. Turn 3, the fight's as good as won. We use Hold Fast and a Healthy Salad to restore FP. Bowser uses Bite again and takes damage. Wait, what? So yeah, Bowser's AI can't progress when he takes recoil damage. He's locked into Bite until that stops, so as long as Bobbery's alive, he can only use Bite. We keep Bobbery alive by using Point Swap on him, then jump to deal some pretty hefty damage since we're still in peril. Now, on this next turn, I was going to sacrifice Ms. Mouse for the memes, but I forgot to get her, so Flurry will have to do, I guess, for all you Flurry haters out there. We Point Swap Flurry and Power Bounce, and Flurry is KO'd by Bowser. Psych! I forgot I had a Life Shroom, so she revives and I finish off Bowser with Power Bounce. What a scuffed fight. And now, it's time for the final boss of this challenge, Shadow Queen. Shadow Queen is the hardest boss in TTYD, and she's no exception here. 300 HP, 14 attack, and 2 defense. Because of how her AI works, she won't go into phase 2 until we hit under 90 HP. Let's get to work. Turn 1, we Point Swap Mario and double dip with Goombella, using a Spicy Pasta on her to get +1 attack and point swapping her. I had 2 routes depending on who was attacked, so this was all set up. Shadow Queen always uses Lightning turn 1. So I guard to take 14 damage with whoever she attacks, since I have P down, D up, and P down, D up, P equipped. Mario's attacked, so we Power Lift for at least +3 attack, Rally Wink, and Power Bounce for almost 100 damage. Shadow Queen always uses her version of Power Lift here, gaining +3 attack and +3 defense. To combat this, we Power Bounce with Mario, Rally Wink, then Power Bounce again, putting her well under 90 HP. At the start of phase 2, I use a boost sheet on Mario, then headbonk with Goombella. I really didn't want to use boost sheets here, but I was running out of time to strategize, record, script, and edit this video, so I just went with it because this guarantees Mario's survival in phase 2. I then jump and use a boost sheet with Goombella. Unnecessary, but figured I'd follow through on the double boost sheet. One final jump ends phase 2 and we begin phase 3. This is it, the final battle. In this phase, Shadow Queen has 300 HP, 14 attack, and 3 defense. Turn 1, I art attack Shadow Queen, Rally Wink, then Soft Stomp to get rid of her defense. There's no telling what she'll do this turn, so I just need to survive. Turn 2, I Power Lift for at least +3 attack, then double dip a Power Punch onto Mario and Goombella. Shadow Queen always charges up for Shadow Wave this turn, so I'm safe from being KO'd. Turn 3, I Power Bounce, nab the free guaranteed Shine Bingo, then multi-bonk with Goombella. Shadow Queen's Shadow Wave has 28 attack, 29 with the P-up badges, so not guarding here should... Oh no. Shadow Wave is actually 14 attack with a +7 charge, so it dealt 22 damage instead of 29. I take a moment to think. I can still win here. It's not going to be how I planned, but there are ways I can still get into peril. This fight's not over. To maximize damage, I Power Bounce with Mario, Rally Wink, then Sweet Feast. Shadow Queen uses Hand Drain twice on Goombella, healing a whopping 30 HP and KOing her in the process. I then guard her Status Breath for 8 damage, putting Mario at 22 HP. I bring out Livewire next turn and Power Lift, and manage to get +4 attack. Livewire Ground Pounds for some good damage, and I Super Guard her hand attacks. And then, I see her charge up Shadow Wave. This is it. I Soft Stomp to decrease her defense again and hit her with another Ground Pound. She uses Shadow Wave, and I guard it for 21, putting Mario into peril. With one final Power Bounce starting at a whopping 20 attack, I take down the Shadow Queen once and for all and beat Insane Mode. Insane Mode was a ton of fun. The normal battles kinda sucked early game, but the boss fights were all really fun to strategize for, and it was very cool getting to use Soft Stomp and Mr. Softener as much as I did. I still have the Pit of 100 Trials left to do. If you want me to complete that, leave a comment letting me know that you'd like me to complete the pit. Thank you everyone for watching. Please consider subscribing and leaving a like and comment. It lets me know that I should keep doing what I'm doing. I also stream most of my challenge runs live on Twitch, so consider following me there as well to catch me destroying bosses and super guarding everything live. That's it for now. See y'all for the next challenge.